straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here today.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. Now, cricket and chaos often go hand in hand. Pakistan Cricket Board has managed to stand true to that phrase, especially over the last few months, owing to a horrid ODI World Cup campaign, and continue to engage in reshuffling people at the helm of affairs. We'll get you more on that a little later on in the show, but we also get you chaos in cricket where you least expected it. The Indian domestic circuit, the shocking, almost hilarious episodes will leave you stunned and rather amused. Stick on for that. And why is Qatar in focus once again ahead of the AFC Asian Cup, where India is gearing up to start its campaign? All of that lined up for you over the next half hour, but first, the headlines from around the world in Sports 360. We'll start with the National Sports Awards ceremony that was held in India's capital today. India's top athletes were conferred with awards at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the presidential residence. Mohammad Shami, Parul Chaudhary, Sunil Kumar, Sheetal Devi were few of the awardees that were presented with top performing at awards from the year that was. The other awards given out were the Khel Ratna Dronacharya Award for Excellence in Coaching and Lifetime Achievement Awards. On to cricket, the ICC has finally rated the Newlands pitch in Cape Town as unsatisfactory. This is the one where India and South Africa played the second test match that got over in less than 2 days. Many had lashed out at the pitch offered, including skippers Rohit Sharma and Dean Elgar, who had called the pitch below standard. The match lasted just for 107 overs, making it the shortest ever in the history of the game. The Afghanistan Cricket Board has modified the previously imposed sanctions on 3 players, Mujibur Rahman, Fazal Haq Farooqi and Naveen ul Haq. They will now be allowed to participate in franchisee cricket as long as they give priority to the central contracts and national duty. All 3 were punished after they wanted to be released from their central contracts so that they could explore other opportunities in T20 cricket across franchisees. The Asian Olympic qualifications have kicked off and Indian shooters have started their quest to renew quotas for the Paris Olympics. Varun Tomar won gold in the men's 10-meter air pistol event. Meanwhile, Isha Singh topped the women's event. Rudraksh Patil and Mehuli Ghosh won mixed air rifle gold. India have now secured a record 15 quotas in shooting for the 2024 Paris Olympics. And FIFA has ruled out sanctions against Brazil. This comes after Brazil's football president, Ednaldo Rodrigues, was reinstated by the Supreme Court. Earlier, Rodrigues had been removed by a local court and replaced by an interim president. The local court had also ordered elections to replace Rodrigues. The FIFA had threatened to ban Brazil from all international matches and tournaments if that were to happen. Now, the Ranji Trophy cricket tournament is in the news, but for all the wrong reasons. Now, what is the Ranji Trophy? A short explainer for the uninitiated. It is an Indian domestic cricket tournament and it is played between all the state association teams. It does get a lot of attention because there are times when many top Indian players come out to represent their state teams when there is no international cricket on or they just haven't been picked into the national side. Like Cheteshwar Pujara recently appearing for his team and scoring a double ton as a message to the Indian national selectors that he is still around. Now, 38 state association teams compete here. 38 because a few states have more than one team, like Maharashtra and Gujarat. The format itself went through many changes over the years, to the point now where the teams are divided into 2 groups. You've got the Elite Division and the Plate. Elite has 32 teams and Plate 6. The 32 teams are divided into 4 groups where each team plays 7 matches and the top 2 advance from each group to the knockout stage. And thereon, it goes to declare one winner, of course. And every season, the 2 worst performing teams get relegated to the Plate division for the next. In the Plate group, the top 4 reach the knockouts and the finalists are fit to qualify and play in the Elite division for the next season. So it's quite rigorous. This year, all that's grabbed headlines, unfortunately, has been little to do with great cricket or quality of cricket and lot to do with chaos, incredulous incidents and mismanagement. This weekend, The Ranji and the state of Bihar were abuzz. Bihar was slotted to play Mumbai, and ahead of the match, two teams turned up at the stadium, ready to take on Mumbai. It was sheer madness, and the crowds, of course, were lapping it all up. They had turned out in massive numbers, probably just to watch all the fun from beyond the ropes. There has been some infighting in the Bihar Cricket Association, so on the day, we saw a team picked by the president of BCA, Rakesh Tiwari, and the other picked by the secretary of the association, Amit Kumar, both turning up to stake their claims as the true opponent for Mumbai. There was even violence that occurred at the stadium, with Amit Kumar assaulting some of the board officials. After a rather heated argument, the president's team stepped up to play. Here's what the angry secretary had to say.
First things first, I won the election and I am an official secretary of the BCA. You can't suspend a secretary. Secondly, how can a president select a team? Have you ever seen BCCI President Roger Binney announcing the squad? You will always see the signature of Secretary Jay Shah.
Now, why this confusion in the first place? The two men involved have had a strained relationship for the past 2 years, resulting in the secretary being suspended in 2022. Anyway, the President's 11 took the field and created a bit of history too. No, we aren't referring to the very humbling defeat that Bihar suffered, that too by over an innings against Mumbai. There was a 12-year-old making his debut, Vaibhav Suryavanshi. He became the youngest player to make a Ranji debut, and he did stand tall amid the ruins, struck double figures in both the innings amongst all the single-digit scores of most of his teammates around him. So that was something. And of course, the mayhem continued. It's not just Bihar that's in the middle of a shambolic campaign. Delhi team has made all the news for crumbling to an embarrassing defeat at the hands of Puducherry last evening. To put this in context, like Ravi Shastri would say, in the blue corner is a heavyweight. Delhi is one of the most successful teams at Ranji Trophy. They have won this tournament 7 times since conception. Their last win came in 2007, but they were runners-up in 2017. And in the other corner, Puducherry, who started playing first-class cricket just 5 years ago, a very, very young association and team. Following the loss, Yash Dhool, the young batting sensation touted as the future of Indian cricket, was sacked as captain. There has been trouble brewing in Delhi cricket for a while. There have been reports of some of the senior cricketers leaving Delhi and playing for other states like Vidarbha. That has seen a lot of success of late. Even before this season began, there was utter confusion regarding who should captain the side. Himmat Singh was approached. Then they gave it to Yash Dhool, who has now been removed from that position. And Himmat Singh has been asked to lead the side in the remainder of their games. The coach, Devang Gandhi, also a former national selector himself, said the loss was a tough pill to swallow. However, he played down all the commotion and chaos. He said, and I quote, "It was selectors' decision to relieve Yash of the captaincy. To me, Yash is the future of Delhi cricket and Indian cricket. He has seen a serious prospect. The priority for him now is to get back to scoring runs again. Anything that can distract him from that should be avoided. Captaincy at this point would help him solely focus on his batting." Wouldn't help him, rather. Elsewhere, someone after a series of criticism seems to be doing just that, focusing on his batting. Riyan Parag. If you've been following the Indian Premier League, you would know that Riyan Parag is part of the Rajasthan Royals setup. He's had a horrid last season, scoring just about 78 runs in the 7 matches that he's played. There has been a lot of criticism that he faced for talking the talk but not following that up on the field. And he has sent out a strong message with this Ranji Trophy performance. He notched up the second fastest 100, coming in just 56 balls, second just to Rishabh Pant, who got to his 100 of 48 deliveries. For the longest time, he himself has been saying there are big things around the corner for him, but seems like he's finally delivering some of what was promised. And as captain of the Assam team, that's something that he's extremely proud of. For many of the youngsters, this is a good platform to get in some runs or wickets in the lead up to the Indian Premier League, or to get noticed by selectors. Now, Pakistan has embraced a new trend, changing leaders often and leaving everyone confused. It's like the game of snakes and ladders, where no one knows what's next. Each move seems like a roll of the dice with one question on everyone's mind. Will the next ladder lead them to success, or a challenge pull them down? Now, since the 2023 ODI World Cup ended, a lot has changed in the team's leadership. The revamp of the entire Pakistan Cricket Board, the selectors, the support staff and the captain. Now, all of this has been well documented and it is still continuing. Wicketkeeper batter Mohammad Rizwan has now been named the vice-captain of the T20 international format. Pakistan's cricket board, or the PCB, announced it just yesterday. Rizwan's appointment is part of that restructuring. He will work with Shaheen Shah Afridi, who was named Pakistan's captain, to lead the team in the T20 internationals. This further rules out any chances of Babar Azam returning to any leadership role. He stepped down from all the formats after Pakistan's ODI World Cup debacle. Post that horror story, Shan Masood became the skipper for the Tests. No ODI captain has been named just yet. The latest in the flurry of additions and amendments is Mohammad Rizwan, and it comes just ahead of the New Zealand tour. Pakistan will take on New Zealand in a 5-match T20I series that starts on the 12th of January. That's sometime this week in Auckland, and will end on the 21st of January in Christchurch. Sarfraz Ahmed, as you can see, was dropped out of this. He's a former captain. During the first test against Australia, Sarfraz was chosen as the first wicketkeeper while Rizwan was benched. He wasn't named in the playing 11. Pakistan gave a chance to 2 debutants but not Rizwan. Fans were furious regarding this outright snub. They lashed out at the board. Some called it a laughing stock, all of which seemed justified though, because Sarfraz was disastrous. He scored a disappointing 7 runs in the first test. Rizwan, who was brought in for the second match, showed resilience. His invaluable knock, had he stayed on, owing to that controversial dismissal, might have resulted in Pakistan possibly levelling the series then. But these are, of course, ifs and buts, something Pakistan cricket is dealing too much in of late. The 3-match test series has concluded, with Australia, of course, securing a 3-0 whitewash. Barring Amir Jamal, Rizwan was the only one who shouldn't be disappointed. He scored 88 runs in the first innings and was the best out of the lot during the third. So could this have earned Rizwan the vice-captaincy? Last year in December, after the ODI World Cup, a leaked PCB audio clip surfaced online. It went viral. Reports said it was PCB chairman Zaka Ashraf's voice. The recording brought to light some explosive information. It exposed PCB's apparent plot to sack Babar Azam. In the recording, Ashraf is said to have discussed the culture of friendship that was prevalent in the national team, where he accused Babar of recruiting his friends into the side. And most of the World Cup players who were selected were clients of Saya Corporation, a management firm. It was claimed that even Mohammad Rizwan had ties with it. A reason, Zaka Ashraf says, is what stopped him from appointing Rizwan at the helm of affairs. So after all of that drama and controversy, this seesaw affair, comes the news of Rizwan's appointment, and it's led everyone scratching their heads. There is no doubt in the abilities though. He has been key to Pakistan's fortunes. Since making his debut in 2015, Rizwan has proved his place in white ball squads. He has played 85 T20 internationals, has amassed close to 3,000 runs, including 1 century and 25 half-centuries. As wicketkeeper, Rizwan's taken 41 catches, effected 11 stumpings. In ODIs, he's scored close to 2,100 runs in 74 matches, with 3 centuries and 13 half-centuries to his name. His star keeper batter also captains the Pakistan Super League, the franchise Multan Sultans, and is touted to be one of Pakistan's strongest opening batters in white ball cricket. Despite all of this, he finds himself tangled in this messy affair. With the T20 World Cup around the corner, the move comes as no surprise, especially after former Pakistan cricketer Shahid Afridi had this to say.
I admire Rizwan's hard work and focus level. His best quality, which I like most, is only focusing on his game and paying no heed to who doing what and what not. He is really a fighter. I wanted to see him as the T20 captain, but Shaheen became the skipper by mistake.
Looks like the PCB itself is taking a cue from this. The upcoming tournament against New Zealand will present an opportunity for Mohammad Rizwan to showcase his skills and potentially reshape the narrative around him and, of course, the team. And with the way the Pakistan Cricket Board has been reshuffling their leads, Rizwan and the rest of the players will be hoping this stays on at least till June, and a sense of continuity prevails till the next World Cup, which is just 6 months away. After becoming the first West Asian nation to host the 2022 FIFA World Cup, the spotlight is on Qatar once again. It is set to host the delayed 2023 AFC Asian Cup. The changing landscape in world football is clearly visible to us all. West Asia is undoubtedly the powerhouse of football, but the FIFA World Cup was mired in bad organization, and all the negative publicity that followed overshadowed some of the brilliant stories that came from the pitch. But can Qatar turn the financial muscle to making this a good, clean campaign off the field and produce jaw-dropping skills on the turf? Something that Qatar is yet to do. They broke the record for the fastest a host nation has ever been knocked out of a World Cup. The one good thing, Qatar go into the AFC Asian Cup as defending champions. It's a championship that has been dominated only by a few sides. Our next report brings you all the details from this high-stake tournament.
The 18th edition of the AFC Asian Cup begins on January 12th. The tournament was supposed to be held in 2023 but was delayed. A couple of reasons for this. It was pushed to 2024 owing to scorching temperatures and Qatar's unavailability. They were busy with another tournament, the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Now, before we even talk about football and the contenders, we have to speak about the host, Qatar, that's clearly under pressure. Under pressure to deliver a good, clean tournament after all that went horribly wrong at the World Cup. Safety concerns related to the country's human rights record and migrant workers remains to be addressed. Reports said that at least 6,500 migrant workers died in Qatar since it won the rights to host the FIFA World Cup. Most of them lost their lives in World Cup-related activities. Back in 2022, at least 10 European nations had officially written to FIFA, urging it to take action against Qatar. So the FIFA World Cup might have been a successful one, but the country has also been accused of using football to sportswash its human rights abuses. Human rights organizations alleged that wages of several workers were withheld, and even employers confiscated passports of the workers. A variety of other reasons, including women's rights, alcohol consumption, and the rights of the LGBTQ community, were some of the prominent issues that were buried. After that, Qatar as host to the AFC Asian Cup will look to rewrite the noise. Let's talk about the action to look forward to. Since years, the AFC Asian Cup has been dominated by only a few sides, something that the 24 competing teams will be aiming to change. Here are the group divisions for the showdown. Like the 2019 edition, 24 teams will be divided across 6 groups. The hosts are in Group A with China. India finds itself in the second group paired with Australia, Uzbekistan and Syria. Favourites Japan are in Group D alongside Indonesia, Iraq and Vietnam. South Korea, that set the World Cup ablaze, is paired with Malaysia, Jordan and Bahrain in Group E. The much talked of Saudi Arabia side is in Group F with Thailand, Oman and Kyrgyzstan. The tournament begins at the Lusail Stadium with a Group A game featuring hosts Qatar, a venue where Argentine star Lionel Messi lifted the World Cup trophy. Players worldwide from around the best leagues in the world have put their club commitments on hold to pursue this grand venture. However, debates have sparked off regarding the tournament's ethical implications. While the Gulf nations might be superior in building first-class infrastructure, they have had limited success in sporting events. Qatar will desperately look to erase their miserable World Cup campaign. It was a massive disappointment for a country that was preparing for the World Cup for over a decade. And maybe as host can also try to erase all that happened at the World Cup by hosting a clean Asian Cup.
On to the last serve here on Firstpost. Legendary German footballer Franz Beckenbauer is no more. As tributes pour in from the world over, we leave you with a reminder of the legacy that a World Cup winning captain and manager leaves behind. That does it here on Firstpost. Thanks so much for joining in this evening. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, of course, bye-bye. Take care.